Okay, so I've got a channel update and a build going on in the background. This build, by the way, is in Aurora Skies. It is for the Season 2 of my 50 Falls Challenge. This is, I believe this is a Nordic, Sweden-inspired house. I looked up Scandinavian designs, and quite literally 1,000 things came up. And I just kind of took what I liked out of all of them and what I knew I could do the best in The Sims 3. Which, let's face it, if I was doing this in The Sims 4, it would be a lot easier, because they have a lot more modern sort of styles that would work a lot better. But I worked with what I had, which was this. I really, really love the glass room there, and you'll see more of that as this goes on. So, there are big, big things happening for me in my personal life, and that is going to affect the channel. Oh yeah, you'll see me pausing here a lot. I'm actually referencing pictures. It's just, I had my phone up the whole time, and it was a nightmare. I ended up having to deviate from a lot of the pictures I found just to try to find something that works. At any rate, long story short, my channel's going to be undergoing a little bit of an overhaul, because I'm getting married. I am engaged to a wonderful, wonderful young man, here in Tennessee, and we are looking to get married this coming September. So when I release this, it's going to be May, and, yeah, this September is when, big changes are happening, so all of my Let's Plays are going to be put on pause for September, October, maybe parts of November. They're not going away. I'm not killing the channel. I'm setting them aside so that I can focus on my marriage. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be content. I actually have a Let's Play of Last Remnant by Square Enix set up. We're in the process of recording it. It is myself and my fiance going through and doing it. So it's he and I together. He's not really familiar with the YouTube thing. Technology really isn't his thing. It's really funny. I am a big techno geek. I love the internet. I love being online. He's not so much into that, actually. So we're having fun sort of blending our two styles and our two ways of living. Right now we are currently not living together. That's a situation that we're going to correct once we are married, but only when we're married. I don't have any intention of living with him before then. It's just not my cup of tea. Fortunately, it's not his either, so at least we're meeting eye to eye on that one. So, you know, especially for after the wedding, you know, we're looking right now at places where we'll both like to be afterwards. We're looking to have him actually buy the place first, and, move in before the both of us do, and have that set up. This build is really long, so I do apologize. I'm giving you a huge overview of everything all at once. So we're going to be moving in a couple of months here, probably August, I'm thinking, since we're looking at apartments between where he's living and where I'm at, so that we can try to both get to work at a reasonable hour. I just have a part-time job, but he's working full-time at an auto dealership, so it's just trying to get us both at a place where we can get to work at a normal time. I'm still job hunting for my big full-time career. I had one up in Pennsylvania before I moved down to Tennessee, but unfortunately, due to circumstances that are just entirely beyond my control, I was not able to keep that job or find another one in a similar sort of career field, or not career field, a similar sort of industry that down here in Tennessee before I moved. It's regrettable, but it is what happened. You know, it makes life a little bit rougher. It certainly makes trying to do things a little harder. I'm actually using the funds that For the build, sorry. For the build, I'm currently using funds that I took from my previous save. Now, words. This does not mean that Aisha and Taylor and Marilyn are no longer with us. I'm actually going to be playing them off camera here and there, because I really, really like them. And it's not lost on me that the front porch tile and the bathroom tile are exactly the same. I just could not find what I really liked. It just wasn't. I wanted something stone, but I wanted it really simple. What I found as an overarching theme through a lot of Nordic and Scandinavian designs is that they are very, very simple. They use a lot of stone, a lot of natural colors, a lot of whites, a lot of blacks, and they put pops of color in places. Like the blue rug that's underneath my wooden dining table with the white chairs, the stone background. There's going to be, I think, little pops of color in the kitchen. I don't remember if I do that or not. I could not get my roof to go the way I wanted to, so I just kind of had to live with it that way. It just is what it is there. Fortunately, none of the roofing color came down into the rest of the house, so that was nice. The windows there, yes, you can see the cabinetry behind it, but I didn't care. I really like the way it looks. This was a really challenging build, and I think this is going to be a challenging house for me to play in and keep the style. They have a very modern, clean lines house with not a lot of fuss and not a lot of clutter, which is, if you've seen any of my builds, so not me. It's not by any means me, and I don't have a lot of modern things. It's not that their home is industrial. It's not. It's very, very modern. But it's not industrial. It's not grungy. I actually used some of the stuff that came from the diesel pack for this. Yes, those chairs. Yes, I know I've deviated from what I was telling you, but for the most part, that's kind of it. I'm getting married. I'm going to be putting the channel on a little bit of hiatus. I'm trying to build up a bank of videos of The Last Remnant with my fiance and I to get that sorted and taken care of. And oh god, these sectional chairs. I'm sorry, these sectional chairs drove me insane. I was determined for the longest time, and then I just didn't like the way they looked. So I got rid of everything. I woke up one morning and hated everything. And I just could not get them to look right or look nice. I am using some custom content here. I'm trying to step away from custom content in The Sims 3. Which I know that carpet totally steps away from that. I think the chair as well that's in their bedroom. Yeah. It makes the game a little bit buggy. So far, so good, though, I will say, for our house and for our saves. We've been pretty lucky so far that I've not lost everything entirely. And I'm gonna, knock on wood, that it doesn't go away. Yeah, this was a fun area to do. But I really like the build. And it's going to be fun to try to keep that modern vibe and that modern feel as we go along here. Their bedroom is awfully tiny, I will say that. There's no kids' room right now. They're probably going to have one eventually, and I'm just going to build out the back and out the side and try to make it just stick with those clean lines, that single floor. I might be able to do 2 floors with it. I don't think that'll be a problem. It'll just be a lot more work. I did not pay attention to my budget here. I did not. Because we took about 60,000 simoleons with us, give or take. I spent all but, I think, after selling things to get an outdoor light, I think I spent all but 12 simoleons. Yeah. And I realized as I was taking after I took the screenshots and while I was editing this, that there is no fence around the garden area that I'll eventually put out back. And I don't remember if I leave that poof sitting outside. I don't recall. I honestly don't recall. Yeah, sorry, my phone just went off. See, I don't recall if I think I just did away with the poof. I think I did. Sure. Yeah, it's gone. I did notice that a lot of the pieces were very open floor plan. A lot of the houses were open floor plan, so I ended up switching it there as well. Taking down some of the walls, which did save us some money. Woohoo! I wasn't thinking of money at the time. Really wasn't. I was just thinking of how I wanted the design to look, how modern I could make it or how comfortable I could make it look. Yeah, I know, pink and blue. Didn't matter to me. I said I don't think I actually put any actual pops of color in the kitchen. I may need to carry in that blue in the chairs, which I could probably do at a later date. Didn't even think of it. All I did was make that, wooden. I love some of the stuff from Into the Future, especially for builds like this, because it brings that green element inside, but you could just change it to a wood tone, and it makes it very much now versus any sort of futuristic. It makes it modern and not futuristic. So, which you'd think modern and futuristic should be the same thing, but they're not. And oh, this barn. Ugh, I might end up having to change it up because the roof only did that once. I will be perfectly honest to say that roof only did that once. When I make it a little narrower, like so, the roof decides that it wants to go the other way. And I wanted to have that tall gabled roof, so yep, that's what it does. That's where it stays. And no matter how many times I moved things or adjusted, it just stayed there. So while we only have one horse, that's just gonna have to be there. It is what it is. Yeah, it just doesn't. And I don't know why I went with the 2 instead of 1. It doesn't make any level of sense. I'm going to have to go through and figure out what I can sell. Probably some of the windows. And a lot of the horse trading pieces. We're just going to have to go up to the center. The equestrian center. Yeah, those. To put a fence around. I did not think ahead. We're gonna have a horse on the property. There's gonna be zombies on the full moon. So yeah, we're just gonna have to bite the bullet on that one. I don't put a floor in the barn again. It's just there's no decor out there whatsoever either. Just nothing. They have nothing. They have no sort of tack or anything out there. I'll adjust that as time goes on. I will redecorate. I just didn't really have the funding. Like, I spent so much time in the house and so much money on the house that everything else just falls by the wayside. There's no trees on the property. There's a couple of flowering bushes. We do have that. But I realize that our produce is going to be our main source of income. And right now, we have no way to protect it. None. Now, I do have this video brightened a little bit. I may find I need to add more of those ceiling lights as I film, because The Sims 3 is just dark. It's a dark game. I'll adjust the brightness in-game, actually, upwards a little, because this is just the nightfall option. And I started seeing I was running out of money, so I do have in the world a marketplace and a bunch of other things, so I should, in theory, be able to sell the produce at the veggie stands that I have out there, because I just bought those, that and the lemonade stand which you see in the front yard. And I was seeing how badly out of money I am now, and trying to figure out what I can do and how I can adjust things. And what sort of landscaping I can use with what I have, which isn't much. Let me tell you, not much. Yeah, I couldn't put a single tree out there. I mean, that's the only one, and it looked so out of place. So I think I just went for, I went for little hedges. And it should be a hydrangea that I put out there with it. Yep. Little white hydrangea, some rocks, and terrain paint. Completely, and for the most part, completely and utterly forgot to put an outdoor light there. I did not realize it until later. You'll see, when I notice it, you'll see. Because then I go sell a few things from the family inventory. Most of the things from the family inventory are things that were Taylor's when he was a little boy. And, you know, his bed, some of the things like that. So I don't really want to sell them just yet. I want to actually incorporate them later on. Just really nice little things to carry over from the rest of the Let's Play. And from Season 1, rather. It'll be really nice. And you'll see those as we go later on. I know I popped into Family Inventory at one point in time, and I'm going to do so again, probably in a minute. I was hoping to put a few more bushes out front, or something, to get a little decor up front. I put the potted plant in that cute little lighthouse, that's the word. Yeah, I end up selling to, those two hay bales to put a light outside, and it's just the bare bulb. It's really awful. Our screenshots are coming up, though, so... Wow, near the end of this already. I sped it up to, I think 5 times the speed, and these are only like 4-second video pictures. So, yes, I did remember to put a mirror in the bathroom. I ended up having to sell something else. I don't recall what it was, but I did put a mirror in the bathroom. Yeah, right there. Had forgotten that previously. Now they have a mirror. And the ceiling is just